Brigham Young?
Yes, sir. Come right in.
Thank you. Mr. Young?
How do you do, sir?
How do you do? I've come over here to warn you. You better get your people out of here just as fast as you can.
Why?
Because I've held off those mobs as long as I'm able. From now on, I can't be responsible.
You mean you want us to leave everything we've fought all our lives for?
I mean, if you don't go, and go quick, blood's going to run like water in the streets. Nothing I can do will stop it.
We're not budging 1 inch.
Well, I'm sorry that's your answer. But I'm afraid the law can't help you much.
The law? What law? The law that lets a pack of scoundrels come in here and hunt us down like wild animals? Burn our homes, ruin our crops? Arrests our leader on trumped-up charges and then looks the other way when a mob breaks in and murders him? They call that law, let them keep it. We don't want any more of it. I appreciate this warning, Major, but this time we're going to stand up for our rights if it kills us. You tell that bunch of hoodlums that I said if they come over here again, we're going to fight clear down to our boots and up to our necks in blood.
You mean that, don't you?
You doubt it?
No.
Well, then I guess that's all we've got to say to each other. Good day, sir.
Good day.
Funny thing, that Major taking it for granted that I was the head of the church. I'm just an ordinary, everyday fellow. I used to farm a little, do a little carpentry work, painting, anything to make a living. But all that time, I was trying to find the right church, and I was willing to give them all a try. But somehow none of them hit me just right. One day I picked up the Book of Mormon, and I said, well, Heber, let's go out to Ohio and see this prophet. Let's see what he's got to say for himself. I remember it was about noon. We came up to Joseph Smith's house. His wife, Emma, came to the door. Excuse me, ma'am, is this where Joseph Smith lives?
Yes?
Well, we'd like to talk to him, please.
Well, you'll find him out yonder, the other side of the lake, chopping wood.
Thank you, ma'am. That sounds kind of funny for a prophet to be out swinging an axe. Don't seem just right. A prophet ought to act like a prophet. He can't expect to build a church if he acts like a farmhand.
Good morning.
How do you do, sir? I'm Brigham Young. This is my friend, Heber Kimball.
I'm glad to meet you.
And we've come a long ways to see you. We want to ask you some questions about your church.
Gladly. I'd like to tell you about it. Would you sit down?
What's this about you folks calling yourselves saints?
Well, we believe that any man, dead or alive, who keeps the 10 Commandments is a saint.
You don't pretend to be the Lord himself, do you?
No. I'm just a mortal man, same as you or your friend here.
Well, this plan of yours you call a united order, what's that?
It's not my plan. It's the Lord's.
Well, whoever it is, what is it?
Well, I suppose you'd call it the law of nature. You see, it's his idea that the land of Zion will be sort of like a beehive. Like that anthill over there. With everybody doing his share of the work and getting his part of the profits. A place where everybody will have everything he can eat and use. There'll be great storehouses to keep food and things in for the sick and the poor, the old folks. You see, under a brotherhood plan like that, it'll be impossible for any one man to pile up a lot of goods or have power over his neighbors. That'll mean there'll be no social distinctions, no caste, no special privileges. Any more, I take it, than there is in that anthill over there. We had it once, but somehow we've all but lost it. We've got to get back to it again.
Well, that sounds all right. But then there'll always be lazy people, ambitious people. There'll be some honest ones and some dishonest ones.
What I'm telling you, Brother Brigham, is a revelation from the Lord. It's up to us to work it out. This isn't an easy religion.
Well, I'm not looking for an easy religion. I'm looking for one I can bring my family up decent in.
Around you. Brigham, they're over at the council hall meeting, Duncan and Crum and the others. They found out that the raids are going to start all over again tonight. And Duncan says they're not going to listen to you anymore. They're going to make peace with those people over in Carthage any way they can.
Mary Ann, Joseph told me to run this church, and I'm going to run it the way it ought to be run until the Lord says no. Now, I hear you've been linking some sort of a deal with those rats over in Carthage. Whatever it is, you're not going through with it. Because I'm taking the bull by the horns and spitting in both his eyes. We're leaving here tonight.
The river's frozen over.
How else could we all cross it in one night?
But it's fixing to storm.
They'll never expect us to start.
But we couldn't get our things together.
The lighter we travel, the better time.
Ah, don't listen to him. We can't run off now and leave everything we've got. I've got my granary to think about.
And my stores.
Every cent I've got in the world is right here.
Maybe we're getting too interested in granaries and stores and things. You remember how when Joseph started out, he had an idea about nobody getting rich, but everybody sharing alike. Somehow his idea seems to have got sidetracked. I figure it's time we got back to it.
But I've worked hard. I've saved and scrimped.
A little money means more to you than this church, Angus. You'd better stay here. Heber, put some fellows on horses. Tell them to spread the word. Tell everybody to come just as they are. We've got to put the river between us and Nauvoo by morning, or there won't be enough of us left to worry about.
No, wait a minute. Don't pay any attention to him. You're making a mistake.
All right, Mary Ann. Meet you down at the river.
Go ahead. Keep moving.
Supposing the ice breaks through.
I get my horse. Let me try.
like the end of the Mormon church. Come on. Marianne, look. Looks like we've burned our bridges behind us. We couldn't turn back now, even if we wanted to. Get your tuba.
Tuba?
And get hold of the rest of the band. Tell them I said to start playing.
Yes.
Where are we going? Well, wherever it is, we'll get there. You folks have been doing a lot of worrying and wanting to know what we're going to do next. Well, in the first place, we're going to start acting like we've got some common sense. We're going to build some strong new wagons, gather in all the food we can, get enough guns and ammunition, warm clothes, and whatever else we need, and then we're going to get out of here. And we're going to keep going until we're clear out of the United States, across the Rocky Mountains into Mexico.
Hallelujah.
Mexico? Across the Rocky Mountains?
If it's got to the place a man can't stay in the United States and believe what he wants to, then he's got to get out.
That's 1,500 miles.
Just about.
Take us 4 years to get there.
It took Moses 40 years to get where he was going.
But 1,500 miles.
That's all.
Doggone you, Brigham Young, we've stood for all your foolishness we're aiming to. I'm through. Through with the whole dang setup. I'm quitting, you understand? Quitting you and the church. I'm going someplace where me and my family can live.
I know it's not an easy thing I'm asking you to do. But we can do it, if we've got faith enough. There's good stock here, Lord. It's about as fine a bunch of men and women as ever lived. All they need is a little bucking up and a kick in the right direction so's they'll know their own strength. And then you'll see how soon they'll stop all this infernal whining and all this talk about running off, quitting the church. First thing you know, they'll be letting their beards grow. They'll be getting dirt under their fingernails and calluses on their hands as big as hoe cakes. And they'll be ready to whip the tar out of the first fellow that says we'll never make it. If there's anybody here doubts that, they'd better haul tail right now because we don't want them. We'll build our wagons and we'll scratch for our food. We'll shiver and we'll go hungry if we have to. And maybe some of us will keel over and die in our tracks, but that won't stop us neither because the rest of us will keep going and we'll never stop. Never. Not until we found the place. Well, Lord, we're on our way. Just as far as the eye can see, they keep coming. I doubt if there's been anything to equal this since the children of Israel set out across the Red Sea, and you had to open up the waters to let them through. And talk about miracles. Well, just take a look at the way some of these wagons have hung together. Of course, it took plenty of scurrying around to get together what we did. But I knew that as soon as we stopped arguing and grumbling about what had to be done and started finding ways to do it, that we'd manage all right. Some of our folks aren't really in shape to travel. Some, like Eliza, with bullet holes in them. Everybody, young or old, has his or her work cut out. The women are busy sewing, mending, weaving, or taking care of the babies, doing the cooking. And the men who don't have to drive or look after the livestock are turning out new shoes and seeing that our harnesses hold out. And we don't aim to let our children get far behind in their lessons either. Classes are being held every foot of the way, so as it'll never be said that a Mormon can't read and write with the best of them.
72.
Yes, sir. We're on our way. We've been seeing Indians, Lord, for several days now. Sometimes there's just one. Sometimes there's 2 or 3. Sometimes a whole tribe just looking. Porter Rockwell says that their main village is up ahead at Council Bluffs, and that there must be a couple of thousand around here, and with more coming. Kind of gives you a creepy feeling, knowing they've got their eyes on you. Some of our folks are getting downright uneasy, but I tell them Indians can't be any worse than some Christians I know. Well, just the same, till we find out a little bit more about them. We mean to trust in you, Lord, and to keep our powder dry.
Zigzag. That means he wants to talk in peace. You zigzag out to meet him.
My name's Brigham Young. We folks have been run out of our homes, and some of us are pretty tired and sick. If it's not asking too much, we'd like to stop here in Council Bluffs for a little while.
My people knows of your coming. We know why you are here.
As superintendent of the Indians, my advice is to say no.
Not many years ago, we were driven out of our homes. You are welcome here.
Chief, those are the first words of real welcome we've heard in 16 years. And don't think we're going to forget them. From now on, you can count on us for anything you want. We can stay here as long as we want to. All right, unhook your oxen. Turn them out to graze. Clara. Mary. We're welcome here. We can stay as long as we want to.
Oh, I'm so glad, Brigham.
Porter, tell everybody to unhook their oxen and horses. Tell them they can hunt, too. This country is running over with wild game.
Look, Brigham, a good rich earth.
Sure. Anything would grow here. I think I'll let the main body stay right here and raise a crop. The rest of us will push on and find some place to settle in. Sure, they can follow us later and bring whatever they've raised. Heber, tell the people the band's going to play tonight. Tell them we're going to sing and dance like we used to.
First you tell us we can sit down and rest. Now you say we have to dance.
Hook your wagons, get ready to start. There's only about 5 feet of water. Oh, it's all right, Jonathan. We can make it. It's only about 5 feet deep. Take care of it. It's only about 5 feet deep. Come on.
swim?
No!
You will.
In the meanwhile, we keep jogging along, putting plenty of good Iowa mud between us and those scoundrels back in Carthage. It's rough country we're going through, and it's just as hard on the wagons as it is on them inside.
Sonny, will you hold him?
Hi.
Howdy. Mind if I get a drink?
Nope.
You one of them Mormon fellas?
Yes, we're Mormons.
I heard you was coming. Leaving off the mister, my name is Jim Bridger. What might yours be?
Leaving off the mister, Brigham Young.
Say, how many?
12.
How about a chaw to oil your tongue with?
No thanks, I never use it.
How come? What's the matter with you?
You see this?
Uh-huh.
I've been carrying that now for 15 years. Whenever I feel myself tempted, I hold it up and I say, am I stronger than this piece of tobacco, or is this piece of tobacco stronger than me? And I put it back in my pocket again.
Well, I'll be doggone. Contest between the defending champion, Jim Bridger, and the challenger, Porter Rockwell.
I bet you Porter wins.
Bet what?
Oh, that new silk dress I'm going to get against that horse you're going to get.
Sounds like a fair bet.
Yes, sir. Tickle him.
Come on, Bridger. Looks like you're not going to get that dress you haven't got yet.
Dang saints, listen to them gambling.
They're only trying to have a little fun.
Fun. There's whiskey being drunk. Porter Rockwell is chewing tobacco again.
Since when did he ever stop?
I'm not going to put up with it. I'll not have the devil flipping his tail in my face. I'm going to...
Why do you lie to yourself? You're worried about all this talk of gold and going to California.
Day and night, that fella Duncan has been at him with his talk about gold. And that all you have to do is stick a seed in the ground that pops up before you can turn around.
You're dead set against California, aren't you?
You know human nature. Take a crowd of people to a place of milk and honey, and in 6 months' time, they won't be worth shooting. Our only chance is to find some place that nobody else had even put foot on.
You set out to find a place across the Rocky Mountains where we could live in peace according to Joseph's plan. That's what the people trusted you to do. I wouldn't disappoint them.
Mary Ann, you're as fine a wife as a man ever had. Sometimes I don't know what I'd do without you. Always the same, never complaining. You're never jealous of the others.
No, Brigham. Sometimes I think the Lord's been almost too good to me. Just letting me take care of a fine man like you.
It's funny. When folks have been together as long as we have, it's kind of hard to say what's in your heart about loving a person.
I know.
You remember when I was courting you, how we used to sit out just like this on moonbright nights?
I remember.
Suppose you had to do it all over again. Would you still have me? Knowing all you do about me and all that you've had to go through?
Yes, Brigham. I'd do it exactly the same.
Well, Lord, here we are again. All I keep hearing is talk of gold in California. So far, I haven't said anything. That is the way I feel about it. We're figuring that as long as we're heading west, they'll be satisfied. I can't keep that up forever. I'm not feeling very well myself. I don't seem to be able to eat or sleep. And then I'm all cold inside, kind of shaky. I must have got hold of some bad water back yonder. Maybe it's a touch of mountain fever from eating that rabbit stew the other night. You've got to help me find the right place, Lord, and find it quick. Because I can't go on like this much longer.
I tell you, Mary Ann, if we lose him, we're done for.
Where are we?
High up in the mountains, Brigham.
What's that strange noise I keep hearing?
It's an echo. The wagons sound like a lot of hammers going.
Porter set to whistling a while back. You'd have thought it was a dozen flutes playing.
Look out and tell me what you see.
There's nothing but mountains. Over yonder's one about a mile high.
No, not there. Look south. The mountains suddenly fall away.
Over here they do.
You can see maybe 100 miles straight off.
Yes, I can.
Pull up. This is the place. We'll build our homes down there.
It was a revelation. He knew it before we even got here. It was a revelation.
This isn't the place. Look at it. It's nothing but a lot of desert. Just a lot of sand and rock. We'll shrivel up and die like rats. We're going to California, do you understand? We're going to set up our own church.
Are you?
Yes, we are. We let you drag us away from Nauvoo. We left every cent, everything we owned in the world. We've watched you mark every foot of the way up here with the bodies of our women and babies, and we haven't said a word. But when it comes to stopping and settling in a place like that, the most desolate country we've seen yet, with California just up ahead waiting for us, it's time to call a halt. He says God told him this is the place. But I say it was the devil talking. And as far as I'm concerned, the devil can keep it. We're going on.
All right, Angus. That's the way to California.
You said you were coming, didn't you? You're going, aren't you? Well, are you coming or not? Think of your family and your children. What's the matter with you? You're not going to build your home down in that desert, are you? You'll all starve to death. Come on, get up and get going. You said you were coming with me. Think of your family.
Our hearts are mighty humble and mighty thankful. Lord, we'll make this desert blossom. There'll be hamlets and cities, vineyards and orchards with every kind of tree there is. There'll be no filth in our cities. There'll be no ugliness of any sort, but broad, clean streets with flowing water. And the law of the valley shall be that no man may buy or sell land, for all land will be held in common. It'll be measured off to him, both in the city and for farming. And any man may have as much as he can till, but he's got to take care of all he gets. All wood and timber will belong to the community, too, as well as ditches and canals. Any person caught trying to take greedy advantage of these materials will be run out of the valley. Now as to the city itself, it shall be built in blocks of 10 acres each, with streets 8 rods wide, and with gardens and lawns on both sides. Right in the middle, I'm setting aside 10 acres for the temple, which we'll start building the day we get our first crop in the ground. We're going to establish Joseph's idea of the United Order and build a mighty empire here based on labor and love and fellowship. And this time, doggone it, I mean to see that we stick to it. Nice sight to see you people come up here to put your food in a common storehouse to be rationed out to everybody alike during the coming winter. Joseph Smith would be proud of you. It's not just a tithe that we're giving this time, although that's the law of the church, but everything we've got. If one eats, we'll all eat. And if one starves, we'll all starve. Now we're going to have our hands full to make this food last until spring. So don't waste anything. Eat regular, but don't let me catch any of you people putting on weight. Now, it's up to us men to fish and hunt and lay in stores. And you boys, get out and see how many rabbits you can lay your hands on. But don't eat them. Pin them up. Give them time to multiply like good saints. All right, you fellas in the band, let's hear Come, Come, Ye Saints while everybody takes their food over to the storehouse. And play it good and loud, especially loud. I don't remember, Lord, ever seeing a winter to equal this one. Started out mild enough, but now it's hit for sure. There's just one blizzard after another. Snow is so deep that the game has run clean out of the hills. And even what little cattle we had left are lost or they're frozen to death where we can't get at them. I've had to cut rations 3 times already till there's hardly enough to keep body and soul together. The babies look mighty hungry and peaked to me. The women and the old folks are just hanging on, living on roots or whatever they can lay their hands to. Well, just the same, we're going to hold out till spring when the winter wheat and the new corn come through. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to, Lord, somehow.
Brigham, come on, quick. There's bugs, crickets, millions of them. Where? Coming down the mountain. They're in the wheat fields already.
They're eating the wheat. Destroying everything. Half the fields are covered already.
Crickets on the field, hurry!
Hurry! The crickets are ruining the wheat. Come on! The fields are full of crickets.
Listen, people, don't waste your time here. Let's save the grain. Come on.
The hills are back with them. Not too much for us, Brigham. It's no use. Might as well try to push back the ocean with a broom.
I told you what would happen if we stopped in this valley, but you wouldn't listen to me. You ran off with a false prophet. That's why this happened.
It's true. We're all going to die. You brought us out into this place to starve. You devil, you.
But we've one chance. Repent and throw him out of here. It's true. You ought to be run out of here. Listen to me, people.
You've a right to know the truth. I told you that the Lord wanted me to run this church. I said that he wanted you to build your homes in this valley. And I promised you in his name that you wouldn't starve, that no harm would come to you. I used the Lord's name.
Look, they're eating the crickets.
Whoa! I can't see. Look at them eat.
More coming.
And someday, good Lord, we'll build a great city here on the shores of Salt Lake. And when we do, we'll erect a monument to the glory of God.